Good afternoon. I'm calling back to order this recessed meeting of the Portland City Council. Rebecca, can you please call the roll?
Good afternoon. Quayamaleen.
Here.
Murillo.
Here.
Novick. Clark. Green. Zimmerman. Avalos. Smith.
Here.
Cannell.
Here.
Pertleguiney.
Here.
Ryan.
Here.
Dunphy.
Here. And can we please read the rules of decorum for the chamber?
Yes. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Portland City Council. To testify before council in person or virtually, you must sign up in advance on the council agenda at www.portland.gov/council/agenda. Information on engaging with council can be found on the council clerk's webpage. Individuals may testify for 3 minutes unless the presiding officer states otherwise. Your microphone will be muted when your time is over. The presiding officer preserves order. Disruptive conduct such as shouting, refusing to conclude your testimony when your time is up, or interrupting others' testimony or council deliberations will not be allowed. If you cause a disruption, a warning will be given. Further disruption will result in ejection from the meeting. Anyone who fails to leave once ejected is subject to arrest from trespass. Additionally, council may take a short recess and reconvene virtually. Your testimony should address the matter being considered. When testifying, state your name for the record. Your address is not necessary. If you are a lobbyist, identify the organization you represent. Virtual testifiers should unmute themselves when the council clerk calls your name. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have 2 items left on our agenda for today, folks. Relatively light load. Could we please call item number 7?
Item 7, amend city code and improve land use regulations through the Regulatory Improvement Code Amendment Package 11, amend code titles 32 and 33, document number 2026-189.
Thank you. Colleagues, our initial hearing on Recap 11 was on July 8th. At that meeting, we passed 2 amendments, the Mechanical Equipment Amendment and my amendment to allow residential unit uses in the campus institution CI1 zone. My amendment was adopted with acknowledgement that staff would need to return with conforming language in order to complete it. Today, we have Dunphy 2, which is pre-filed, which ensures that the changes from Dunphy 1 are made everywhere necessary in the code rather than adding new or unique standards to fill out the housing allowance in CI1. And we are pointing to the standards in the RM1 zone. So I would like to start by formally moving Dunphy 2 to bring conforming, and is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Ryan. Colleagues, is there any discussion of the conforming amendment? Not seeing anybody in the queue. Keelan, or Rebecca, sorry, can we please call the roll on Dunphy 2?
Dunphy 2, moved by Dunphy, seconded by Ryan. Quayamaleen.
Aye.
Murillo.
Aye.
Novick, absent. Clark.
Aye.
Green, absent. Zimmerman.
Aye.
Avalos, absent. Smith.
Aye.
Cannell.
Aye.
Pertleguiney.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Dunphy.
Thank you, colleagues. Additionally, colleagues, on the request of the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability staff, oh, I'm sorry.
Did you vote?
I didn't, did I? Ha! Aye.
Thank you.
I vote for my own amendment. Thank you.
Okay, Dunphy, aye. 9 aye votes. Thank you.
Wow. Apologies, I'm ready to go. We'll try that again. At the request of BPS staff, there is one more action to take, adjusting the effective date of the recap code changes. As written, this ordinance has an effective date of October 1st. Staff is requesting a change to November 1st to align with the timeline for changes to the code required by new federal regulations. Specifically, to the changes of the campus institution zone, my team has confirmed that those customers have no concerns with additional delay. Chief Planner Diffenderfer is here. Would you be able to speak to this a little bit, if there's anything further that I didn't include? That is not. I'm seeing, there we go.
Good afternoon, Council President. Pardon me, you were talking about the change in the date, the
Yeah.
effective date. Yeah, it's more for administrative reasons. We have been working on a project to remediate the code to make it more, to meet ADA accessibility requirements. And the recap project touches so many sections of the code, and it would be very difficult to update that code while we're remediating the code. So we'd like to make them all available on November 1st.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I would move to update the effective date of this ordinance to November 1st, 2027. And this will be Dunphy 3.
Second.
And Councilor Ryan seconds. Thank you.
Council President, may I
Please.
interrupt? So I believe that staff was also intending council to vote on a replacement ordinance. So I might suggest we vote on the replacement ordinance first. That reflects the findings, and then amend it to include the date, so that this way we're not amending
Gotcha.
the ordinance and then having to do the amendment.
I had that reversed on my things. Okay. Then we're going to skip ahead just a step very quickly, and we'll pause on that. I'll withdraw my motion for now. We must adopt the replacement Exhibit A and Exhibit B, which incorporates all past amendments into the ordinance. So I move that to replace those exhibits with those that are posted. So is that right? Am I doing this wrong?
Yeah, I think the amendment is to replace the ordinance, Exhibits A and Exhibit Bs. And what that does is it incorporates all of the amendments, prior discussion, updates the findings to reflect the discussion, updates the ordinance. So it just updates everything that council has already done.
Can I also fold in an updated effective date in that, or do I need to do a separate action? We'll do it as separate.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
this a second so that.
Thank you. Apologies, colleagues. We're figuring this out as we go. So I move to replace the ordinance and exhibits with those that are posted. And is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Ryan. Colleagues, to the motion, Councilor Pertle-Guinea.
So I just want to understand this because the new exhibits don't have track changes and obvious things to follow. I want to make sure we understand and that others listening in know what this does. So the new exhibits A and B incorporate the amendments from Avalos Dunphy Koyama Lane 1, from Dunphy 1, and presumably from Dunphy 2. I'm hoping these were written assuming we were going to adopt those. Okay, I'm getting nods from staff in the room. So the changes from Avalos Dunphy Koyama Lane 1, Dunphy 1, and Dunphy 2 have been added to or amended in the exhibits. Nothing else has been changed in those exhibits except what was needed to change based on the language that was adopted at the last meeting and earlier today. Is that accurate? Okay, I'm seeing nods from the room. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Pertle-Guinea, for explaining it better than I did. Councilor Cannell.
Yeah, I'm also trying to clarify that just in terms of, we're talking about replacing the, it looks like the 6th and 7th link of Exhibit A and B listed on the website with the 2nd and 3rd link. Is that what the vote we're about to be asked to do is?
Is that correct?
It's the as amended. So this is standard practice for legislative land use proceedings. Council has to vote on the actual, and has to have before it the actual package. We can't change it after the fact. And so that's why we bring back these as amended, and it says, and the ordinance will say vote on as amended. So what you previously saw, what was filed was Exhibit A, Exhibit B. Those don't reflect the amendments council made. And the findings also don't reflect the discussion council had or the testimony we heard. And so we update the findings to also support those changes and support and respond to any testimony or evidence that we received. Those would be the changes in the findings, and then the changes in the code are the amendments that council actually made.
Got it. And so and those are the links entitled Exhibit A as amended.
As
Exhibit B
amended,
as amended.
exactly.
Great.
That's right.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Pertle-Guinea.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to specify I had voted against one of those amendments. I just voted for the conforming one. I will be voting for these exhibits, though I think we made the wrong policy choice. I would like our books to be clean, and so I will be supportive of these changes that follow from it.
Thank you, Councilor. Seeing no one else in the queue to discuss, can we please call the roll on the replacement ordinance and exhibits?
Sorry, we just have a question. So the intent is, this is now Dunphy 3, and the intent is to then amend Dunphy 3 to update the start date to November, the effective date to November 1st?
Yes, that sounds right to me.
So you want to amend the amendment?
Bessie and I
Point of
are-
information, I thought we were voting on the updated exhibits, not on the
Is that
change.
Yeah, I'm confused about that.
Yeah.
So we're going to vote on updating the exhibits and amending and replacing the ordinance. There is a new, and staff, can you point me to actually where the replacement ordinance was filed? Yeah, so the replacement ordinance was filed. I'm just not seeing it on the list.
By all means, come on up if we need to
Yeah.
go through some stuff.
Yeah, this is
So
confusing.
that
I
we have the
apologize.
exhibit and attachment lists with the as amended Exhibit A. The changes to the ordinance that I reviewed
Yeah.
in whatever that system's called, are those already reflected? They're already reflected here on what's on the website.
I'd have to look at what's on the website. We filed an updated ordinance. I don't have in front of me what the links say there.
Council President, may I ask a question?
Absolutely.
It has all the
It sounds like what we're hearing is that the language listed, section 1, council finds, now therefore council directs, on the webpage may have been changed. And if that's the case, I'd like to make sure that we are clear for folks watching about where they can see the original version versus the new version and how in our system online that's filed. Also, so that counselors can track in that language what the changes are. Because I'm feeling like we're getting a lot of take it on faith that these changes are what we say they are and that they have been made. And I'd like to know what I'm voting on.
It's the file, when I'm looking at the ordinance that's in HTML on the website, it has the updated.
It has the as amended. And so the concern so this is the as amended.
Yes.
And so I think what Council Pertolini is asking for is, this is maybe a question with the council clerk, what happens to the ordinance before, so people can see, just as we see the original Exhibit A, now we have the as amended A, the original ordinance showing that strike through. And when it used to be in paper format, that was easier. I don't know where it goes on this website.
Yeah,
Okay, so question for the clerk.
I answer that question.
Okay.
But
So-
I guess we can assure you that the only changes that have happened to the ordinance, which are now in the HTML format and is embedded into the website as opposed to an attachment like the other exhibits, the only thing that changed for that is the name of the document itself, because we're replacing the new document, the old document with the as amended version.
So the update to add the dash as amended.
Yes, that's the only thing that
HTML.
changed.
Okay.
And number 12, council held a hearing, invited testimony, approved 2 amendments to the draft. That was the addition, so it just reflects what happened.
Okay.
I might also just add that the first link on the agenda, the proposed amendment Dunphy 2, that is the track changes of the language that changed in the ordinance at least for that item. Just.
And the
if
same
that's
is for the Avalos Dunphy Coyama Lane 1. That's where you would see the strikeouts, and we incorporated what was in there into the recommended draft as amended.
Okay. Okay, colleagues, is that as clear as mud for everybody else?
Thick mud.
Yeah, thick mud. Thank you. All right, so we now have a motion to replace the exhibits and the ordinance. It has been moved and seconded. Can we call the roll? Yeah.
Moved by Dunphy, seconded by Ryan. Koyama Lane?
Aye.
Murillo?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
Zimmerman?
Aye.
Smith?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Aye.
That's the one that I referred.
Pertolini?
A nervous aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Dunphy?
Aye.
And it's approved, the amendment's approved with 9 aye.
Okay. Thank you. This is very prescriptive. Land use stuff is very intentional and prescriptive, and we're learning how to do this. I'm learning how to do this. So we still need to change the effective date, correct? And all right, so now going back to what I was previously, I would like to move to update the effective date of this ordinance to be November 1, 2027. We're going to call this Dunphy 4 now? Is that what we're calling it? Okay, Dunphy 4 to update the effective date. And is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice President Clark. Is there a discussion? Please call the roll.
Can we clarify, update the effective date to November 1st, 2026?
November 1st, 2027.
2026.
26 is what I meant.
Yes,
Jesus. You know what? This is why we are checking. Thank you. Good details, because 2026. Thank you. Will you please call the roll?
Okay, motion to set the effective date to November 1st, 2026. Moved by Dunphy, seconded by Clark. Quamelin.
Aye.
Murillo.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Zimmerman.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Hall.
Aye.
Pirtle-Guiney.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Dunphy.
Aye.
Okay, the amendment is approved with 9 ayes.
Okay. Is that everything that we need to do then?
Yes, so now the item passes to a second reading for a date and time certain of Thursday, August 6th at 2 p.m.
Perfect, yeah. This item will come back on August 6th, no earlier than 2:10. So this item moves on. Thank you very much. Colleagues, thank you for your patience on that. And can we please call item number 8?
Item 8, pay settlement of Michael Duffer bodily injury lawsuit in the sum of $287,500 resulting from a collision with a city dump truck involving the Portland Water Bureau, document number 2026-267.
Colleagues, this is an emergency ordinance. Okay. With us are Senior Deputy Attorney Ann Milligan and Claims Analyst Dave Farrell. Take it away.
Thank you. On July 1st, 2024, plaintiff and a Water Bureau driver were waiting at a red light at Southeast Hawthorne and 34th Avenue. It was a busy day on Hawthorne for all forms of traffic, including vehicles, pets, and bikes. When the light turned green, even though that lanes on Hawthorne are single lane in both directions, plaintiff elected to share the lane with the other vehicles and began passing vehicles on the right, eventually reaching and riding alongside the Water Bureau dump truck. When the dump truck turned right onto 34th Avenue, plaintiff impacted the side of City's 2024 Freightliner truck. He was not run over by the truck, but he did suffer closed avulsions in his ankles, road rash, and a 5-day hospital stay. City's driver testified that his right turn signal was engaged. The cyclist testified that he did not see a turn signal. The parties have reached a tentative settlement in the amount of $287,500 pending council approval. The settlement is recommended by the Bureau, Risk Management, and the City Attorney's Office.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, any technical or clarifying questions? I'm just going to check in a second. Is there anyone signed up for public testimony?
No one has signed up.
Okay, great. So technical or clarifying questions or just regular council discussion? Councilor Knoll.
Thank you. So I just wanted to clarify, I appreciate the information being attached with the overall Water Bureau information in terms of history. We have seen several vehicle-related incidents around the last couple of years, not exclusive to the Water Bureau, but primarily across the city. Primarily, we have public works vehicles, we have public safety vehicles. Under what circumstances would the Bureau remove, terminate, or reassign an employee who is involved in a collision while operating a city vehicle?
I think if the Bureau might be here to speak to that.
Welcome up.
Hi, Charles Smith, Group Director of Maintenance Construction, Portland Water Bureau. Understand the question is what type of incidences would we have where we would remove somebody from service? So we have done this in the past, and typically with the progressive discipline process, we have to do several steps in order to get there, but we have done it in the past, and we take precautionary measures and do steps to make sure that they are safe and operating the vehicle safely, and we will. I lost the word for it, but sorry, nervous first time.
Doing great.
But we do investigations when we have incidents, and we make sure that if it's a training issue, an employee issue, or a circumstance that's beyond the control of the driver, right? And so these vehicles are large. We have implemented new technology like side view mirrors or side view cameras to help prevent this type of stuff. However, we don't train on that necessarily for CDL purposes because the trainers don't necessarily like relying on that technology because not all the trucks have it. So you have to learn to look for your blind spots when you're in the truck. So we take into account every piece of the accident when we do this type of discipline and we do the investigation, because it's not all of them require discipline or in fact, I've been at the Bureau for 27 years, and I can think of 3 people that we've removed from service because of their driving habits.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So it sounds like it's not a defined like if-then list of criteria, but instead a more holistic.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
In terms of determining when to remove, terminate, or reassign an employee, it sounds like you're saying there's not a clear, if this happens, then we will, but more of a holistic.
So there is certain circumstances where we do have a clear path. Like if they, so like in this incident, we took Raphael in for a required drug test right afterwards because somebody was transported by medical. And so that requires from the DOT drug analysis. So if they were tested positive for a narcotic or alcohol, then we would definitely remove them from service. So there are circumstances where it's immediate and automatic, and there are circumstances where it just we've had a fatality, and it was somebody who was texting and driving and went head on with a dump truck, and you have to take every case on its own merit and judge accordingly. But we do follow the contract and the discipline process for making determinations on whether or not they should be behind the wheel.
And the contract, you're referring to the union contract?
Correct. Correct.
Had this driver had any previous incidents?
So he did. I didn't think he had, but I did. We were digging through the information because we received the request this morning, and so we were digging through the information, and we did find where he had clipped a car mirror on a narrow alleyway in like January, six months prior to the accident.
Okay.
So.
But no moving violations?
No moving violations were cited.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that information. I think understanding how we get to this place just because of the volume across and again, not just the Water Bureau, but the bureaus in general, is helpful. Anne, can you confirm, I saw in the notes that there are 8 vehicle incidents that have resulted in paid claims from the Water Bureau over the last 2 years that are under the
Dave Farrell from
50,000?
Risk Management would speak to the claims history.
My apologies, yeah.
So in Dave Farrell, Risk Management, in what period of time?
So the last 2 years, but happy to have a different time frame if that's more easily accessible to you, just to give a kind of context to this.
For fiscal year 24-25 and 25-26, there were a total of 26 collision of all vehicles in Water Bureau claims.
Okay. All right. Well, I think one thing that might be helpful, and I'm not sure whether it's full council, committee of the whole, public works, but I think it may be helpful for us to have conversations about this in the aggregate instead of exclusive to this particular driver and particular incident, which we'll be likely resolving with this vote in a moment. I did have one question that is specific to this. Was there any finding of fact at all, or city acknowledgement of truth if it was done at any point throughout this process about the allegation that the cyclist was dragged a full city block during this incident? That's an allegation. Is there any reason has that been acknowledged or agreed to as a statement of fact, or is it simply an allegation at this moment?
There was security footage from the restaurant across the street that substantiates that allegation.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I've heard enough to support the settlement at this level.
Thank you, Councillor Knoll. Colleagues, seeing no one else in the queue, this is an emergency ordinance. It requires 9 votes to pass. Rebecca, can we please call the roll?
Calling the roll on document 2026-267. Koyama Lane.
Aye.
Murillo.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Zimmerman.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Canal.
Aye.
Hurtle-Guiney.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Dunphy.
Aye.
The ordinance passes with 9 aye votes.
Colleagues, that concludes our agenda for today. With that, no further business. I am adjourning this meeting of the Portland City Council. Thank you all for being here.